What's up, people? Hotep Jesus, we back with another live conversation with yours truly, Hotep Jesus. I hope everyone's day is going wonderful. We have a wonderful stream set up for you today. I'm still getting the green screen situated and all that, so bear with me. Still trying to tweak it and get that right. We'll figure it out one of these days. No worries. Just so everyone knows, next year, 2022, we are going to be having a homeschooling initiative. We're going to be executing a homeschooling initiative to promote homeschooling across the nation. We have a wonderful marketing plan set up. Shout out to Dawn Hotep for putting that together. Shout out to India for helping us with that. We got a mom on board. She's helping us put together. She put all 5 of her kids through homeschooling. We're going to be disseminating information to show people how to make that transition from the commie learning to homeschool learning. So that's going to be lots of fun. If you'd like to support, please support. Go to hotepnation.com/donate, or if you go to hotepnation.com, you can navigate to the page from there. We're about to get started, man. We got to talk about this. I checked Twitter today against my better judgment, and I saw unvaccinated Americans trending. If you want to show me some love, drop some super chats. I'm going to read the super chats out loud. Let you get your grift on. So when I clicked on the trending topic, it brought me to an article by Associated Press. So let's take a look at that article from the Associated Press now. Here we have Dr. Fauci. So it says, the COVID-19 Omicron variant is, quote unquote, just raging around the world. Is what he says. The White House's top medical advisor said Sunday, as President Joe Biden prepares to issue a stark warning of what the winter will look like for unvaccinated Americans. Real fast. Anybody know what Biden said about winter in the past? Anybody know what that winter is called? What's the name of that winter, Joe Biden? Is it dark winter? What did he say? What did he say? Somebody drop it in the chat before we continue. And tell me exactly what was the word that Biden used. Dark winter. I thought so. So let's bring this up on the screen. Operation Dark Winter was the code name for a senior level bioterrorist attack simulation conducted on June 22nd and 23rd, 2001. It was designed to carry out a mock version of a covert and widespread smallpox attack on the United States. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. This is what the internet told me. I don't know what's going on. But that's what he said, right? That's the verbiage he used. I just want to put that in perspective for as we continue. A lot of you know about this already, and some of you may not. But you have to put this in a context. So when we continue reading the Associated Press article, we keep that idea in the back of our mind as we read this here, right? Okay. Whoops. Okay. So Fauci, the country's leading infectious disease expert, told NBC's Meet the Press that the real problem for the U.S. hospital system is that we have so many people in this country who are eligible to be vaccinated who have not yet been vaccinated. Just call me the N-word, bro. Just call me the N-word and get it over with. The prospect of a winter chilled by a wave of coronavirus infections is a severe reversal from the optimism projected by Biden some 10 months ago. Okay. So this is optimism, they're saying, right? Optimism projected by Biden some 10 months ago. When he suggested at a CNN town hall that the country would essentially be back to normal this Christmas. Wait a second. Hold on now. Hold on now. Hold on now. Let me just make sure I got my facts straight. Joe Biden wanted to approach the U.S. and 10 million. Okay. So he said it was going to be a dark winter last year. And I guess that was in the middle of winter. Yet the cases of the bug are much higher this year than they were last year under Trump. Anyway, let's continue. So he said we would be back to normal by this Christmas. This is during a CNN town hall. Biden has been careful not to overpromise, yet confidence in the country has been battered by an unrelenting wave of COVID-19 mutations and variations that left many emotionally exhausted, spirited, and worried about infections. Fauci, director of the NIAID, tried to defend the president's earlier promise in a separate interview Sunday on CNN's State of the Union. And he says here, the idea about hoping and having aspiration to be independent of the virus after a period of time is understandable and reasonable, Fauci said. But one thing that we know from now almost 2 years experience with this virus is that it's really very unpredictable. Says it's very unpredictable. Okay? This is what he says. Now keep that in mind for as we continue to read. With the threat of the rising infections, with the threat that rising infections could worsen the supply chain challenges facing the United States and fuel inflation, Governor Jared Polis, Democrat of Colorado, said Biden should stop talking about vaccination as 2 shots and a booster and instead call it 3 doses. That's funny. That's funny. Don't call it 2 shots and a booster. It's 3. Okay? 3 doses. Come get your triple shot. Come get your hat trick. Come get your hat trick prick. Come get your hat trick prick. Y'all better go out there and get your medicine, man. And if they say it's 5 next year, hey, you better get your Pentagon shot. Let's continue, man. This is. Hold on, let me check the chat real fast. Catches Cam, Hotep to the people, $2 super chat. Thank you for the continued support, my bro. Oh man, this shit is comedy, man. Comedy. Polis pivoted to inflation that is running at nearly a 4-decade high. That means inflation hasn't been this bad since I was born. God damn. Biden really is the worst president of my lifetime. saying Biden in his remarks on Tuesday about the Omicron variant needed to show the country how he is addressing the rising cost of goods. The other day, the Fed said to curb inflation, they wanted to raise interest rates. And so I went into my Thomas Sowell bag, and because I was like, yo, I don't think that sounds right. Why? So I went in my Thomas Sowell bag, and everything's began to make sense. I wonder if I have that page earmarked. Probably so. I would read it to you. But anyway, basically, when you increase interest rates, you decrease people's ability to get borrowed money, which is going to affect the housing market, which means less houses are going to be purchased, which means the prices of houses is going to decrease, and some other whatever. So if the Feds increase interest rates, I'm looking for a housing crisis next year, or a housing crash, or market correction, whatever you want to call it. I'm just a student. I'm nobody special. I'm just a student of the greats. Let's continue. We can do very concrete things that actually reduce the cost for Americans. Politicization, noting that Colorado is cutting vehicle registration fees and making it free to register a new business. I mean, it's a start. My question is, why wasn't it free to register a business in the first place? You're going to tax said business. These are the hurdles that they create to stop the lower class from rising to the middle class, and middle class rising to the upper class. Because the middle class is competition for the upper class. I'll think about that later if I was in his position. What would I do to reduce costs of things? The administration is expecting you could do a double entendre or a double, what do you call it, to kill two birds with one stone. You could increase possibly tax revenue for your state and reduce cost of goods. You could just lower the tax rate. If you lower the tax rate, what'll happen is people will go, oh wow, they've lowered the tax rate in Colorado. Maybe I should do business in Colorado, and a lot of revenue could come in that way. And then also you decrease the cost of goods because you've lowered the tax rate on things. Sometimes what you have is you have government, they'll come in, and especially Democrats and socialists, they all talk about this. We got to tax the rich, right? The other day I said tax the rich is a scam to destroy the economy. And it's true. You see, what happens is when you increase the tax rate, well, let me use the example I used in my tweet to explain to somebody. I said, let's say you're dealing drugs, right? You're a drug dealer, you're a kingpin drug cartel, and you connect the person who you get your medellin from starts taxing you more than usual. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to look for a new connect. Well, that's what happens when you tax the rich. When you increase the tax rate, the rich go, they don't say, all right, I'm going to pay the new tax rate. They're going to say, all right, how do I beat this? And they're going to find tax havens. They're going to either offshore the money or come up with some creative ways that none of us know about because we're not $500 an hour accountants. But they're going to ask their $500 accountants, how do we dodge this thing? And they're going to dodge it. Now, if you said, hey, now this is all from the idea of increasing tax revenue. And when you increase the tax rate, you think you would increase the tax revenue, but there are so many cases where they've done so when they've increased the tax rate and the tax revenue has decreased because the rich are like, I'm not paying shit. I'm going to do something else, right? And then there's a whole bunch of cases where states, nations have decreased the tax rate and revenue has increased. Now, here's what the problem is. The problem is when we're talking about balancing the budget, right? And when you talk about balancing the budget, people think that has something to do with the existing budget, and it doesn't. It's actually the budget for what they're projecting for next year or in the future, right? The problem is when they're doing these projections based upon a tax rate that they say is going to increase revenue, but then the next year it does not, there's not going to be a balanced budget. Because and the other thing is, you got Congress calling these shots, and Congress ain't the money experts, except for Nancy Pelosi. Congress aren't the economists of this whole thing. So they have too much say-so when it comes to, what we should do as far as the budget is concerned. You got emotions mixed with logic, right? So when you have this budget come around and says, hey, we're going to increase the tax rate, and that's going to increase the tax revenue by X amount. So here's what we're going to be spending. And then the next year you find out the tax revenue has decreased and you spent too much, and here we are in a deficit, right? So this is what happens. Anyway, let's continue. Actually, let me check super chats. Appreciate y'all. Halima said, my child's entire grade was sent home before last day of school. Comeback only allowed after taking the vacation or a half cup of saliva for testing. Lord Jesus. I'm praying for you, Halima. Praying for you. James, $5 super chat said, remind me again how many lines were on the original vax cards. Yeah, it's going to be like a scroll soon, like ancient Rome. Joe Music, 931, $5 super chat. He said, 2 people got the COVIDs at a party that unpunched weren't invited to. Both were triple jab. Damn, they got the hat trick prick. Be Weezy Bird. Shout out to Coinbits app helping folks be free. Yo, absolutely. Make sure y'all go coinbitsapp.com or coinbits.app. Shout out to Halima. She posted that link in the chat. Cassius Cam, $5 super chat. He said, they're lying about inflation rate because if they told you the truth, they'd have to increase the SSI benefit. No, I agree. J0523, HJ, keep doing the work. It's much appreciated. Hotep and Build 2022 and beyond. Yeah, I was live with Donovan Sharp yesterday, and the homies were talking about stepping it up with the YouTube. So here I am. All right, let's continue. Biden plans to speak on Tuesday. So I guess that's something we have to look out for. Biden speaking about this thing on the status of the fight against COVID-19 and discuss government help for communities in need of assistance. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki tweeted. She also said, this is what Psaki tweeted. She also said he will be issuing a stark warning of what the winter will look like for Americans that choose to remain unvaccinated. Let's look at that warning. Shout out to Chris Champion. This is from whitehouse.gov. We are intent on not letting Omicron disrupt work and school for the vaccinated. You've done the right thing, and we will get through this. For the unvaccinated, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death for yourselves, your families, and the hospitals you may soon overwhelm. Wow. Pretty compassionate government we got here. Sheesh. Could you be any bit harsher with the message? I mean, if this was under the Trump White House administration, oh my God, people would have lambasted him for that. The funny thing is, my contradiction, my contradiction senses are going off right now. And wait, what are the vaccinated rates among hockey, NFL, and NBA? They're pretty high. I'm pretty sure like 100%, near 100%, 90%, 90%. But they're having a whole bunch of breakthrough cases. Make sure you go get your triple prick, though. Go get your hat trick prick, though. Make sure you go get it. Even though there's a whole bunch of breakthrough cases, don't worry about that. Don't worry about those breakthrough cases that are happening in nearly 100%, 100% in the NHL, above 90% for the NBA and NFL. Don't pay attention to that. That doesn't matter. But if you're unvaccinated, death is looming. I don't know. I'm just reading here. Let's see. Fauci was asked on CNN whether he expected a record number of cases and what about hospitalizations and deaths. He said, yes, well, unfortunately, I think that is going to happen. Wait. Is this a prediction? Is this a prediction from somebody who said this thing is very unpredictable? Is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it one mic, Mr. Fauci? Fauci told NBC the president would again urge people to get the booster shot, highlight increased availability of testing, discuss surge teams for besieged hospitals, and explain how important it is to provide vaccines for the rest of the world. The one thing that's very clear, and there's no doubt about this, is its extraordinary capability of spreading, its transmissibility capability. It is just, raging through the world. And if you look even here in the United States, you have some regions that start off with a few percent of the isolates that are positive now going up to 30%, 40%, in some places 50%. Wait a second. So we have surges in a time when the vacation is available, but when there was no vacation around, there weren't as many cases. I'm thinking too much. Just make sure you go get your hat trick prick. Psaki's announcement Saturday on Twitter came after Vice President Kamala Harris said in the Los Angeles Times interview that the Biden administration didn't see Delta coming. I think most scientists did not. Upon whose advice and direction we have relied, didn't see Delta coming. She added, we didn't see Omicron coming. And that's the nature of what this is. That's the nature of what this awful virus has been, which, as it turns out, has mutations and variants. Okay, let's just type in here, do viruses mutate? Okay. Says right here from the CDC, viruses constantly change through mutation. And sometimes these mutations result in a new variant of the virus. This is from the CDC. Okay, let's go here. It says, why viruses mutate? Explained by an infection. So, I know this because, well, I work with Dr. Sinai Ricks, PhD, organic chemist. We've interviewed him on his channel before. So let's see, it says, what's the difference between mutations, variants, and strains? Mutation, when a virus replicates and the N copy has differences in DNA or RNA, those differences are called mutation. Okay, a variant, when you accumulate enough mutations, you get a variant. Strain, when you can prove a variant, strain right here says, when you can prove a variant truly has new biologic capabilities, then you can call it a strain. All right, so right here it says, when you accumulate enough mutations, you get a variant. Who determines what is enough mutations? Is it 5? Is it 10? Is it 100? Now this is basic, ninth grade science or whatever. Viruses mutate. That's what they do. They mutate. Viruses mutate. All viruses mutate. Okay? They all do. Now, let's go back here. And it says, viruses constantly change through mutation. And sometimes these mutations result in a new variant. Now, we just learned that a variant is a sum of a number of mutations. But if viruses are always mutating, then at some point they're going to create a variant, which means all viruses become a new variant. This is from the CDC. Okay? Now let's go back to what Ms. Kamala Harris said. He said, Kamala Harris said, we didn't see Omicron coming. We got the nation's leading infectious, what did they call him? Let's go back to the top here. The country's leading infectious disease expert. And she said, we didn't see Omicron coming? Huh? Lifestyle. $4.99 super chat. He said, ain't much, but it's yours, homie. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, bro. Thank you. Huh? What? You didn't see this coming? And I got more damning evidence outside this article, so hang around. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. What? All viruses mutate, but you didn't know a variant was coming? Miss Vice President, did you graduate 9th grade? Huh? Were you listening to Travis Scott when you were in 9th grade? What were you listening to then? You was listening to Tupac before Tupac was making music. Is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it one mic? What? And that's the nature of what this is. This awful virus has been, which as it turns out, has mutations and variants. You see, when you're uneducated, when you're uneducated, when you are uninformed, you will be fooled by these people's words. And they're very slick with their words. Look here. Again, she says, this awful virus has mutations and variants. But all viruses have mutations and thus create variants. So this ain't special in that respect. Now, I just had COVID-19. That shit was busting my ass. This ain't no just regular cold, okay? That shit bust my ass. But in regards to mutations and variants, all viruses mutate and thus create variants. I just showed it to you. It's on the CDC website. We have other sources. Tanai Ricks put me up on this information. This is why we keep experts around us. Right? I don't study everything, but I make sure, in the Hotep sphere, we keep experts around us. And he warned us last year and the year before, and he told us about the PCR testing and all of that. You can go watch that interview. Let's get back. The vice president's words raised doubts as to the administration's strategy for addressing the problem. Yeah, it should raise doubts. It should raise doubts because she doesn't know that all viruses mutate. Who's going to let the vice president know that all viruses mutate? And we should have been ready for this. We should have been ready for the COVID-19 to mutate. This is basic science. It said Biden has effectively declared independence from the virus at White House celebration on July 4th. To mark progress with vaccinations inside the U.S., yet the global nature of the pandemic meant that the disease could evolve as others around the world waited for immunization. Fauci told NBC he saw the variants coming and thought Harris's statement was taken a bit out of context. Wow, y'all don't even agree up there. Y'all just contradicting each other. But again, he told us that, go back to the top, it's very unpredictable. Yet here he is again, predicting shit. Because he knows the science. He knows the basic science. Is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it one mic? Adding he believes she was referring to the extraordinary number of mutations, particularly with Omicron. No one had expected it that much, but we were well prepared and expected that we were going to see variants. So the vice president is saying one thing, Fauci's saying another. Who going to tell Kamala? Who going to get Kamala right? Because in this case, Fauci is on point. Who going to tell Kamala Harris that viruses mutate? And we knew this. Who's going to tell her? Who's going to tell Kamala Harris to watch Hotep's Been Told You so she would know this already? Every Thursday at 8 p.m. Willie Handy, 79, $5 super chat. Griffmas season. Appreciate you, homie. Let's go to some damning evidence here. Let's see what Biden had to say. What did Biden have to say about our president when Trump had to deal with this virus? We're 8 months into this pandemic, and Donald Trump still doesn't have a plan to get this virus under control. I do. Where it at, though? Where it at, though? You said you had a plan. You know what this tweet was? It was election season, and he was
teach me how to grip. Teach me how to grip. Teach me how to grip. Teach me how to grip.
He was grifting. This was an election tweet. This is what you call an election tweet. You say whatever you got to say to make the other guy look bad. It's not much credence we can lend to it. But he says here, Trump still doesn't have a plan. I do. Where's your plan? You got the virus raging across the nation, this is what the Associated Press said. It says it's raging across the nation, raging across the world. Where's your plan? Where is your plan, Biden? Other than your Jab Crow laws, where's your plan? Just Judy. Here's to you getting it and having a stronger body now. Merry Christmas. Thank you for making me think and laugh. I appreciate you. That was loud? All right. I got to adjust the sound on that one. I'll adjust the, let me bring that volume down a little bit. I apologize for that. I'm still getting the soundboard right too. He said the volume made him jump. My fault, yo. But this is where we are. Politicians grifting off politicians. Everybody has something to say about Trump. We got a lot of people saying, things about Trump and saying, oh, Trump was pushing the bug. But the media was complaining about him was pushing the vacation. But the media was complaining about him not pushing the vacation. He was pushing things like the Avacin and the zinc and apparently UV light and bleach. So some people are saying he was pushing the vacation. I didn't see that. I saw him pushing. I saw him saying, look, we can get the vacation out. He's telling the truth because these pharma companies had already been working on these things. So he's just telling us like, yo, the vacation coming. You can get the vacation, but you don't have to get the vacation because there are alternatives. So Trump provided alternatives, but people are acting like, he was pushing that thing. I think he was just trying to take credit, for other people's work, which is something that makes sense when you're president, when you're emperor. Omar Talat, $10. He said, the crazy thing is no one sees that they all moving in lockstep. NHL, NBA, NFL, all now seeing that mad players are testing positive and postponing games at the same time. Restrictions are being pushed harder and harder. Imagine that. You've increased your protocols, and with the increase of your protocols, you have an increase in cases. I know they say causation isn't correlation doesn't mean correlation, but in this case, it sure looks like it. Senator Booker came down with a case of the bug 19. I wish him well, good health. But he's jabbed up. I think he got the hat trick prick. I'm not sure. People are dumb. That's what this comes down to. People are dumb, and the state will take advantage of that. Okay, which is why Hotep Nation is promoting the homeschooling initiative. You can help us at hotepnation.com/donate as we put together a robust marketing and branding plan to make homeschooling popular and show people how they can transition into homeschooling and provide a wealth of information disseminated across the country. We'll be taking volunteers and doing workshops and all types of great things in 2022. This is our mission because we don't want people to be stupid. Hashtag protect your mind. Protect your children's mind. Because otherwise they walk around not knowing that all viruses mutate, right? Because obviously somebody's not teaching these people. If you can take control of your own child's education, you should definitely do so. Once again, hotepnation.com/donate. I'm Hotep Jesus. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. We got up to 490 viewers today at the peak. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I'm going to be back up here a lot more. The homies, like I said, have been pushing me and say, yo, you got to put out more content on YouTube. So I'm back. Talking to the people and providing this good education. Y'all be safe, and I love y'all. Hotep.